Hey everyone.
So excited to be with you tonight. We're going to talk about depression. And in my new book, Your Brain is Always Listening. The first part is about the dragons from the past that breathe fire on your emotional brain. And one of the most common dragons during the pandemic is the hopeless and helpless dragon. And this is a dragon that is running wild around the earth. The depression was already at epidemic levels before the pandemic happened, and it was at about 8%. Typically, the 40 years I've been a psychiatrist, it's been around 6% of the population at any point in their life struggled with depression. But it had been sneaking up. And when the pandemic hit, just a couple of months later, it was at 28%.
Well, and we've got teenagers in the house, and not just ours, but they struggle with it off and on. But their friends, almost all of our daughter's friends, have struggled with depression. It's really hard.
And
come closer to me so we can see you.
The boss dragon, right here.
I like that. I want a T-shirt that says Boss Dragon.
Oh, we're having dragon puppets made.
I want Boss Dragon for mine.
Boss Dragon.
Yeah.
And that would be...
Dragon Queen. Not Queen of Dragons, but Dragon Queen.
And that would be correct.
Yeah.
So with each of the dragons, in fact, tomorrow night, not on Instagram or Facebook, but actually on YouTube, we have an event that at 5 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to go live for 90 minutes and talk about...
as long as no dragon breath. Someone said as long as there's no dragon breath. Sorry.
First thing in the morning. Anyway, tomorrow night, Tuesday, February 9th, 5 o'clock, I'm going live for 90 minutes, and you're going to get the whole dragon theory and really how to overcome anxiety, depression, trauma, grief, addictions we're going to talk about as well. You can sign up, but this is the last time I'm going to say this. yourbrainisAlwaysListening.com/event. So sign up. So with all the dragons, we talk about their origin story. So you know how this dragon sort of bit you in your early 20s. And there's a term that I really love from my friend Martin Seligman on learned helplessness.
Right.
And what that means is you try to feel better and it doesn't work. And you try to feel better and it doesn't work. And you try to feel better and it doesn't work. And pretty soon you say to heck with it and you stop trying. You actually learn that you're helpless or learn that you're hopeless.
Yeah, it's funny how but families are so different, and how some people don't stop trying and some people do.
And part of it depends on their brain function.
Yeah, and I wondered how much of it's genetic or modeled.
Well, I think it's all, right? We always talk about the 4 circles, that they're biological factors associated with depression. So genes would be one, but head trauma would be another. Toxic exposure, mold exposure, all of those things can contribute to depression. But there are also psychological causes where you don't know how to manage your mind. There's social causes if there's a pandemic.
Or modeling.
If
Would that go under social?
Social could go under modeling, that people handled their problems by giving up.
Like your parents or...
And there's spiritual causes of depression. If you are not living according to your own values, your own sense of ethics. The origin can also be you're overwhelmed by stress and conflict, that you don't believe you can have an impact on the negative situation, that your thyroid is low, right? If you have thyroid cancer and they don't replace your thyroid, what happened to you? All of a sudden, you sort of feel depressed. What triggers this dragon? Basically, anything that reminds you of when you felt powerless. And how does this dragon cause you to react? You have something called a high negativity bias. Your brain just goes to the dark place quickly.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're pretty.
Oh. See, I thought...
that is an example of high negativity bias.
I thought you were looking at me because you were like, I do that. Oh, that was classic.
Right. It's hysterical. It's cause people to blame themselves, to blame others. You have a lack of self-efficacy. One of your favorite terms is responsibility.
Yep.
But
My
it's
favorite
not
word.
about blame. It's about your ability to respond
It's about your
to
personal
whatever
power.
situation that you're in. People respond to this dragon with depression, powerlessness, hopelessness, helplessness, social withdrawal, giving up easily. This is the dragon most closely associated to suicide. So how do you tame?
I remember being so depressed and thinking, life is too hard. It's not supposed to be this hard. There's no point. It's a really awful, dark, ugly place to be.
So how did you get out of that? Besides
Oh,
meeting
it was
me?
a very long process, but I'm just
You actually shared that
in my book.
in
Yeah.
your book, which now has 57 reviews on Amazon, and it's like rated 4.8 out of 5. It's a great book. I know I've been saying it. You're going, but you're her husband. What would happen if you didn't say it? You're married to a redhead. Lord knows what would happen. Anyways, it's a great book.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you. All right. So how do you tame? That's sort of the point of all of this. If you've been struggling with depression. So we take this 4-circle approach. Did you know there is a linear correlation between the number of fruits and vegetables you eat a day and your level of happiness? So first thing, you want to get your diet right. Tana has written a great book. It's been a really great seller for a long time. The Brain Warrior's Way cookbook. Every recipe, gluten-free, dairy-free, corn, soy, artificial dye, preservative-free, but they taste great.
So that, speaking of which, the Brain Warrior's Way, that was part of it, was beginning to identify when I felt my weakest with being a warrior. Was like, what is the opposite of me right now? Because this isn't working. What's the opposite of me? And it's a warrior. So someone who's, strong, who's always training, who's prepared, who's, doesn't give up. That's when I sort of adopted that idea of trying to focus on something that was different than I was.
So, mindset is really important. But under the biological circle, diet, critical, exercise, head-to-head against antidepressants. Walking like you're late for 45 minutes 4 times a week, bound to be equally effective. Omega-3 fatty acids, head-to-head against Prozac in a study from New Zealand, more effective. And so exercise, lots of vegetables, colorful fruits and vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids. I'm a huge fan, as all of my family is here, of Happy Saffron, something we make at Brain MD, saffron, zinc, and curcumins, all scientific evidence it can boost your mood. Well, how simple is that? And if those things don't work, then antidepressants, for sure, can be helpful based on your brain type. Everybody's brain is different. Psychological circle, something we call positivity bias training. Tana was on the doctors last Friday. You can probably find the clip online. I was so proud of her. She did a great job, and she talked about positivity bias training. So you might want to talk about it.
So our brains are hardwired to focus on what's bad, to focus on what's scary, what's threatening, especially if you grew up in a traumatic environment, right? It's what kept you safe. We've got those spidey senses that protect us. But they also can ruin your day if that's all you're focusing on, if you're constantly focusing on the negative. So when you focus, positivity bias training is really simple. It sounds really simple, and it is really simple. It's you wake up in the morning and you start training your brain to focus on what's positive. And you can say, today is going to be a great day. Or in my case, I like questions. Why is today going to be a great day? Because then my brain starts searching for why today is going to be a great day. Your brain doesn't have a sense of humor at all. Like, it just does what you tell it to do. It tries to. So if you say, why is today going to be a great day?
All the time.
Yeah, but that's not my brain. That's just me laughing. So, but if you ask the question, why is today going to be a great day, then your brain is going to start working to try to figure it out. And it sounds overly simplistic, and it actually is. But then at the end of the day, we get together at dinner with the kids, and we always ask, so what went well today? And as simple as those two questions are, by answering them, that simple act of answering them in the morning and at night, you begin to, it's not like you're going to lose your spidey sense. It's not like you're going to lose your ability to notice what's wrong. Trust me on this, as somebody who does that. But you begin to now be able to focus on what's good also, because that's not our nature.
It's not our nature. Also, when you get depressed, your mind goes to what's wrong. I actually want you to write out a list of your strengths and your accomplishments. I think that's so important. I learned early on as a psychiatrist, I can make anybody cry. I can make anybody feel bad by getting to focus on their failures and their fears and the times they didn't, perform or act the way they wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I would never leave somebody there. I always want to know what went well. Tell me about the best parts of your week. And I have all of my patients write down their top 20 happy moments. Socially, there's actually a treatment called interpersonal psychotherapy. It's been found to be as effective as antidepressant medication, is work to make your relationships better. You are clearly an antidepressant in my life. and it's work, right? I mean, we both work at having a good relationship. We know what we want: kind, caring, loving, supportive, passionate relationship. And we supervise the things that come out of our mouths.
And the more you do it, the easier it gets, like anything else, like working out, or, it's a discipline.
So important. And we have control. Like, I totally know how to make her angry at me, and I choose not to do it.
Thank God.
I totally know what makes
her
her happy. I make her latte in the morning. I make her smoothie. A little bit later, I'm going to make her brain healthy hot chocolate.
Do you see this pattern here?
We serve each other.
Yeah.
Right? Because our relationship is important, actually. More important now that the 17-year-old's going off to college, and I'm going from number 2 in the family to number 1. I always feel like Avis. Try harder.
Oh, stop it.
And then there's spiritual treatments for depression. If you read Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, that living with meaning and purpose is an antidepressant. Plus, you live longer. So what movies does the hopeless and helpless dragon like? Movies that fit your negative mood, like The Joker, or $1 Million Baby, Schindler's List, What Dreams May Come, one of my favorite movies with Robin Williams, or The Green Mile.
Oh, The Green Mile is great.
Movie. If you're struggling with depression, it is one of the most treatable illnesses. If you try these simple things and it's not working for you, call the clinics. Go to amenclinics.com, amen like the last word in prayer, clinics.com. It is one of the most common, it's the most common reason People call us and we are very effective. But in order to treat depression properly, you got to get your brain right, your mind right, your relationships, and your deepest sense of meaning and purpose. We hope this is helpful. Don't forget, event tomorrow night. Tell all of your friends, yourbrainisalwayslistening.com/event. And if you order my new book coming out March 2nd, Your Brain is Always Listening, and you go to yourbrainisalwayslistening.com, we have 4 free gifts, including a coupon for a free bottle of Happy Saffron. See you soon.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna go get my PJs.
Are you having soup?
I suppose.
Well, we could get something else.
I'd be happy to get something else.
Because I had soup for lunch. What would you like? Not like last night. That was terrible.